Good morning, mate.
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World podcast, the podcast that brings you the uninitiated baby boomer, Gen X and Ys out there, the daily updates on the crypto markets, as well as the crypto news of the day. So join us, Stacy and Chris, for your crazy daily crypto update. Good morning, Mr. Bosel. How are you, sir?
Good mate. How about yourself, pal?
I'm very well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you will note that today it's rather frosty out here in Canberra, and so I'm got up and I put my jumper on, and I come out and the t-shirt band is in a t-shirt today. This is going to be the challenge. How many of you out there can actually bet whether we will be in the same level of attire each day? The first person that comes through and says what day we do it, and we're never going to liaise, we'll send you a token.
Well, look, that's you're probably going to have to wait until you guys are in the midst of summer before that happens.
I don't know. Well, no, that's it. I've made a promise. The first person that sends us in a message and says what day we were in the same thing, we'll send them through a gold Bitcoin token. They'll just have to provide their name and address to us, and we'll fire one off.
We promise it's not a scam.
It's not. I will. Honestly, one of these pretty ones behind me, it's probably not as big as that thing behind me. But
definitely not that big.
I've got them.
I've seen them.
I know, Dave. We shouldn't tell people that.
No, so I was talking about we'll collect your data, but we'll be like a Google and a Facebook and use your data for.
Absolutely, we'll add you to our massive database of an Excel page. It's not really.
Absolutely.
What are the markets doing today, buddy?
Well, look, we had a bit of a downward turn, shall we say? So,
yes, actually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to lie to our listeners and say, "Hey, guys, it went up overnight." But it didn't. We don't tell you fibs, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin did actually.
We don't.
Overnight.
That is absolutely true, mate. We tell it how it is.
That's
all we do.
That, when Stacy and I got online about half an hour ago and started sort of working out what we're going to say in this show, even though we probably ignored that altogether, it was only at 10,700. Now it's at 10,900. So
are you sure?
I'm positive, absolutely 100% positive. When I logged in this morning, it was 10.7.
Well, it's 10.9 now, and we have dropped below 11,000 US. It was holding, 11.2, 11.3 was holding support for quite some time. Yeah. And overnight, this is what happens when you go to sleep in the crypto market, right? You go to sleep and you wake up and you go, oh, wow.
Look, I've got less than I had.
It's had a move.
I can actually tell you because I haven't refreshed the page. It was through the Bitcoiners one, so obviously there's some fluctuation, and it was at 10,781.8.
Well, there you go.
Right.
We've had a bit of an increase. In fact, yes, it does say here in CoinGecko, in the little chart here, that in the last hour, it's up 0.2%.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Chris, one of the two crazy guys, got it right.
Mate, wonders will never cease.
I know. Go figure, huh?
So look, in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has lost 4.6%.
That's just sucky.
And for the week, it's down over 7% for the week.
I know.
Ethereum's down to 207, which is down 2.2. But it's lost 10 for the week. Yeah, I know. XRP's down almost 2. It's lost 8 for the week. Bitcoin Cash.
There's been a class action filed against XRP.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, in the States.
Do you know what it's for? Do you know what the class action's for?
I read it a little bit earlier, but there's lots happened since then.
That's right.
It was because there's a class action against them for selling securities that were unregistered because of the fact that they're not a true cryptocurrency, that they're linked with the banks, right? I.e. that the whole blockchain stuff, not their coin, but their blockchain technology has been sold to all the financial institutions because of the speed of the transactions.
Yep.
So therefore, one of the major investors is suing them, saying that you've actually sold an investment vessel that should have been registered, and it's not.
Interesting.
So therefore, when you release all those additional coins, devaluing the coins I already had, you have impacted everything else, and so there's a class action for them.
Interesting. And that's one of the reasons I haven't particularly liked XRP myself is because they do sell their technology to banks and other things that don't require the XRP token.
That's correct. Well, American Express use it, and Westpac use it here in Australia. That they use the XL, the Ripple blockchain. So yeah, it is quite quick. It is 0.3 of a second or something per transaction, and so that's why they use it. But it's not linked to the coin. People think it is, but
correct. And I haven't liked the way that they've marketed a lot of the partnerships and stuff, which is a marketing tool to increase the price of XRP. When in fact, the announcement
because
look
it's
into
been marketed that Ripple releases partnership with Westpac. Ripple releases partnership with American Express. Everyone associates Ripple with XRP.
That's correct.
They didn't release it saying that Ripple blockchain technology will be used by Westpac. No,
and not using XRP token. that's the bit they often leave out, right? So anyway,
they certainly do.
So looking, moving on.
The rest of the top 10.
Bitcoin Cash, we're down to 343, although it's up 3% for the day. Go figure.
Yep. It's one of the very few green charts you'll see there on the right.
Yeah. Still,
if Stacy leaves the screen still long enough that you don't get seasick.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm good at that, aren't I?
Yeah, he is. He knows I get seasick.
Mr. Boastful, take your finger off the mouse.
Up and down.
It's like a twitch. I just got to move it. Litecoin down to 80, just under $84.
I know. Haven't they suffered since the halving?
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and I think this might be one of the cases. I think we talked about it yesterday, where people were buying the rumours early on in the piece, like early in the year. Litecoin jumped 300%, and now that the halving's happened, it's even since just before that, actually, the Litecoin's price has been slowly coming back down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Just before the halving.
So they
get. It started to spike again before the halving because
a little bit.
It happened.
Well, I think it was just following the market in general, to be honest.
Yeah, but there were some stories out there saying the Litecoin was going to go through the 150 that after the halving, and a lot of people saw that went and jumped in, and then when it didn't happen, they've gone
Yeah, can't predict these markets, I tell you. So Binance Coin sitting just under $30. It's lost 2.8%. EOS is at $4.08 and has lost 1%. Jumping over to Bitcoin SV, it is at $141 and has lost almost 1%. Cardano rounding off the top 10 at 5.1 cents. And it is down 2%. And so remember, these prices I'm quoting are in US dollars, just in case.
They are in US dollars for everyone here. It happens to be here in Australia, so you can convert them over. So if you have a look at the US dollar and the way it's going now, I wonder which one's better.
Interestingly, Monero's dropped again. So it was in the top 10 last week.
Very briefly.
But now it's actually dropped behind both Cardano and Stellar into the 12th position.
So what's our market cap sitting at now, mate?
So our market cap right now is 288. So we've lost a fair bit.
Wow.
So there's 3%.
Way down.
Yeah. So we've definitely lost some money out of the market. There's no doubt about that. And Bitcoin dominance dropped a little bit. But still almost at 68%. So
the market cap doesn't really surprise me given the turmoil on the traditional markets over the last few days. Because some people may be pulling their money out saying, I need some cash right now. So
yeah, look, and that's quite feasible. I think, and this is, I suppose, one of the things that is unknown around the cryptocurrency space, because we've never, obviously, because Bitcoin was created out of the GFC, we've never had a serious crash with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So no one really knows how things are going to work, but I think what you said there is a really important element. And I think anytime we do have a serious crash, I believe the prices of cryptos will initially go down because for exactly that reason, people will need liquidity, people will need money. So they'll sell any asset they've got in order to cover bills and debts and stuff. But I think after that initial drop, where people get the liquidity they need, I would expect that the crypto market would then rise, because then people are going to be looking for somewhere to invest and to get out of the
it'll be people
system.
like those that, I don't know, have a Land Rover.
Oh, do tell. Why would people with a Land Rover need to know this?
Well, maybe they'd just be driving along and everything's running smoothly, and then the engine goes, look. And then Land Rover say, oh, yeah, well, sorry about your $100,000 motor car that's only got 150,000 Ks on it, but not our fault. So, buy a scooter.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, not good. Not good. Well, look, I feel for you, mate. I had to, I had a real serious problem with my X3. Dude, yesterday I felt for you. I had to replace the battery. And that cost me $194.
Seriously?
And I thought,
you got a petrol engine, don't you?
Yeah, why?
Oh, because you're lucky, dude. It's not a diesel, because even our Holden Cruise, like, ladies and gentlemen, the Holden Cruise is not exactly a fancy car, right? Our Holden Cruise, we had to replace the battery for the second time. Mind you, it's 10 years old, or 9 years old, something like that. 9 years old.
Yeah.
For the second time, and because it's a diesel engine, they have a heavier battery, so it was $469 for the battery.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what diesel batteries.
Well,
batteries
then double the price for my X3.
Absolutely, cars for diesel batteries are between $400 and $700.
Holy crap.
I mean, not cars for diesel batteries, but diesel batteries for
cars. I was going to let that one slide, but yeah.
Yeah. No, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's insane.
So I do feel your pain, Mr. Boastful. However, I think my pain, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend my car just decided to die. My beautiful car, it just decided to die. Well, we're still haven't received official confirmation yet, but the most likely scenario is that Land Rover will say, "Oh, well, ouch."
Ouch.
and we'll go, but it's fully serviced, all its major services, all its minor services, and it's only got 150,000 Ks on it. How can it be dead?
Yeah.
Anyway, these things happen.
Anyway,
we move on.
If you'd have bought Bitcoin instead of a Land Rover, mate, you'd be in a much better position.
Absolutely. Well, actually, if I bought Bitcoin back when I bought that Land Rover 7 years ago, and I invested the same amount of money into it, like $100,000, that I don't know, I think I'd be a quadrillionaire about now, and I'd be saying, "What do you mean my Learjet needs a new battery?"
Yeah, or you'd be relaxing on the beach of the Bahamas somewhere or something.
While they put a new battery in the Learjet.
The decisions we make, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have walked a lot of miles, but 150,000 of them to be exact.
Anyway, look, just have a look at the chart quickly for Bitcoin. On the 4-hour chart, it looks like we are in a bit of a downtrend here. If we sort of follow, but remember though, this is only a short time frame, so this is. So we hit a high there around the 6th of August, and since the 6th we seem to be on a little bit of a downtrend. But again, let's not panic, because if we get some perspective, let's go to the weekly, and we can see here that we've been in a good uptrend since the beginning of the year, and even with a bit of a chop around here, we're still, our weekly close is actually the highest weekly close we've had since, if we go back to, that's back here. So this is, so when's that? That's beginning of 2018. So that's over a year.
February.
So it's the highest weekly close we've had in over a year. So that's good. That sometimes you got to zoom out. You got to have a bit of a wider look at the picture of what's going on. So anyway,
absolutely. Hey mate, I just realised, see my picture on the screen there?
Your picture? What?
Yeah, I've got really big Mickey Mouse ears.
I worry about you and your mind sometimes. I really do. I don't know what that's got to do with crypto, but all right, no worries, dude.
There's just two crazy guys in one crazy crypto world. Anything is possible.
This is true. And speaking of which, first crazy story. In this age of insanity, I thought nothing could surprise me anymore. And he obviously knows you if he's making a statement like that. So,
That's true.
but
Tyler.
apparently, the statement that's been made is that central banks should consider giving people money. Yes, that's right. The central bank, who has been screwing us all along, should probably turn around and give back some of the money that has been ripping off us, right? So, but it's quite interesting that.
I'm okay with that. I need a new engine.
Yeah, well, this is true. You should put in a business case.
I can put in a business case for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this was the headline of the Financial Times. And he said, it seems almost impossible that someone could believe in something so ridiculous, and yet this is the world we are living. The path to prosperity is now based on unelected central bankers conjuring millions of dollars out of thin air. And bankrupt governments are issuing bonds with negative yields, meaning they are being paid to go deeper into debt. And there are more than 15 trillion of these negative yielding bonds in the world. So you got to wonder what is going on when effectively, and I like the way they worded it, because this is exactly what's happening. They are effectively getting paid to go deeper into debt. Now, tell me the system ain't screwed. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's the best sex you can have without having sex.
Yeah. So anyway, we need everyone to get out of the financial system and protect themselves, right? And
crypto.
to help do that, New Zealand. Now, and I'm a little bit unsure about the title here, but New Zealand becomes first country to legalise payment of salaries in crypto.
Now, right? This story is also coming from the same guy, Tyler, right? By Tyler Durden. I said hello to Tyler a minute ago, but Tyler, I think you should do your research a little bit better. Because as Stacy's about to tell you, I don't think New Zealand were first.
And this might be the question, right? Because and it might be something in the wording or something. But so they've said here the ruling by New Zealand's tax authority allows salary and wages to be paid in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin from September 1st, as long as the payments are in regular fixed amounts. The digital currency of choice must also be pegged to at least one regular currency and must be able to be converted directly into a standard form of payment, right? So they're putting some caveats around it, right, which is fine. Yeah. But what I'm not sure about is the fact that, and I'll just jump into this one. So Japan made Bitcoin legal tender, basically, back in April 2017. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if something's legal tender, then surely you could pay someone in it, right?
Yeah. Yes, you can, but that's different to being paid in crypto.
Well, I know, but it's like and that's why I'm not sure about if there's something in the wording that's sort of different. But then I've got another article here from February 6, 2018, which talks about why employers can't pay you in crypto, and it's obviously American based, but then actually talk down here about some companies that do pay employees with crypto, right?
Yep.
And actually says here, starting in February, the GMO Internet was a Japanese company. Will give portions of employee salaries in Bitcoin, right? So that was happening. Yep. And then it says also that if a business is already in the cryptocurrency market, they might even ask employees during the hiring process whether they'll accept non-physical payments. That situation happened at BitEdge, a sports betting establishment here in Australia. And that company's web developers receive 100% of their income in Bitcoins. So that was happening when did I say? Beginning of 2008, February 2018. Sorry, 2018. So I'm not exactly sure then how or why they think New Zealand becomes the first country to legalise payment of salaries.
There's another one. There's one here in Australia as well. Excuse me. It's called Get Paid in Bitcoin, right? Where it's not a direct payment by your employer to pay you in Bitcoin. But what you can do, you can actually go to your employer. Obviously, if you're self-employed, you can probably do this as well. But you can go to your employer and you can do a direct debit like people do when, in the case of divorces or debts or whatever, where the bank will direct debit a portion of their salary. But you can actually do it at the employer level, where you say, I would like my pay to go to these people.
Yeah.
And you can send a portion or all of your pay to getpaid.com.au, this company called Get Paid in Australia, and they will pay you in Bitcoin. So they get your salary paid to them and they issue Bitcoin directly to your wallet. So it's not a direct getting paid in Bitcoin. But
it's sort of like a savings plan. You
that's right, and that's what they say.
Yeah. Which is and those sort of things have been around for a while, but I think it's something to do with the legality and with their tax system, and I don't know whether it's I'm not quite sure why they claim that to be the first when clearly it's happened elsewhere. So I'm not 100% sure on that one. If someone out there knows and they can tell us, send us an email. And,
tell us the difference in getting paid, legalising it for payment of salaries.
Tell us why New Zealand's the first when others have already doing it. So that one I'm not too sure about.
I don't know.
All right, so moving on. I like talking about this sort of stuff. I know most people find it really boring, but this is I just want to. Sorry, Mr. Deal. I want to warn you. I want to warn people, right, that the shit is coming. Right, we've got a crash coming. We've got a recession coming.
Stacy.
So move into cryptos. What?
Stacy. Anyone who has listened to any episode from episode number 1 through to 45 knows that you're warning people about the crash that's coming.
Well, maybe this is their first episode. Maybe this first time they've come across us. Maybe, right?
What do you mean it's their first episode? Where the hell have you been?
I don't know. Some people have a life, right? I don't know.
Speaking of you guys out there who's tuning in for the first time, what the heck?
Welcome, and please stay.
Ignore Stacey's charts, okay? We'll have fun.
Yeah, just be warned that Morgan Stanley now believes we're already in a bear market, and that they believe it's going to get significantly worse.
Absolutely. So I don't disagree.
That's that one. Here's an interesting one, and I want to, this one talks about this Doug Casey on why gold is the best money. Now, here's an interesting thing, and they talk about what is how money is defined, right? And as you know, Mr. Deal, I've got some thoughts around the definition of money.
Oh, dude, share.
So anyway, let's have a quick look at this. So government fiat currency.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Finance News Hour.
Look, our current fiat currencies function as money, but they are far from ideal. I absolutely agree with that. And but they talk about what are the characteristics of good money, and he lists Aristotle, who listed the concept of money back in the 4th century BCE, and he lists durable, divisible, consistent, convenient, and intrinsically valuable. Right now, looking at these, he talks about the fact that how our current financial system and gold, he sort of compares gold to fiat currency and that sort of thing. But here's the thing, right? And they list all this stuff and talk about this intrinsic value and stuff. Money is just there to exchange value between people. That's it, right? And if you and I agree on something and we agree on that value, that's all money needs to do, right? And the fact that you can then take that and then use it somewhere else, right? That's all we really need money for. That's it. Now, the financial system has decided that they can't make enough money out of that. So they've created this massive financial system with a bunch of monopoly money and products and things that allow them to make money out of thin air. But it doesn't do you and I any good, right? And certainly doesn't help with the exchange. So I actually look at this and think, you know what? If I had a choice between your gold or your fiat currencies or Bitcoin, right? I'll take Bitcoin any day of the week, right? And because they talk about like durable, good money shouldn't fall apart in your pocket or evaporate when you aren't looking. It should be indestructible. This is why we don't use fruit for money. It's like, really? No, No shit, Sherlock, right?
Well, mate, they're making it plastic now, so at least you can go in the washing machine.
Yeah, because that's good for the world, isn't it? We need more plastic.
Oh, sorry,
in this
is that called laundering money
yeah.
versus money laundering?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
Well,
don't have to worry about durability with Bitcoin, right? And it's
we don't.
divisible.
Okay, moving.
System. All right. Can I get off my bandwagon now? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, because we've got to wrap this up sometime this morning.
Yeah, all right. Well, he's in absolute parity with the conversation around fiat currency. Poor Argentinians, their peso just plummeted 30%, right, in like a day. And this is what happens with fiat currencies, because if you keep lending and you keep going further into debt and you keep devaluing your dollar, this is what happens. And we're going to see more of these headlines all around the world. It's just going to keep happening. And so naturally the Argentinians are jumping onto Bitcoin because it's an alternative. It allows them to store their wealth, allows them to transact between people without worrying about what how badly their government's screwing up their dollar, right?
And so, if you want to sell your Bitcoin for more than what you've got it for, sell it on their exchange. It's currently trading over 12,000.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a 4% premium, and that's basically what this article's about. It's a 4% premium because people are desperately trying to get onto. They'll pay extra. They don't care, right?
Yeah, because
their own currency is dropping so quickly in value.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yes. There's another article, is Bitcoin an option in Argentina as the stock market collapses? So this was a bit earlier. So not only is their currency crashing, their stock market's crashing. So naturally people are looking for alternatives. Where do you go? And Bitcoin is the answer.
Argentina, because Argentina went through this 30 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Where they devalue their money to such an extent that they were in a hyperinflation scenario, very similar to Venezuela is now.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I can't think it was 70s or 80s that it happened, that one of the things that happened there is the hyperinflation was so bad and the laws were so structured that the banks could not inflate the prices of anything. So people were literally being paid enough money a week to pay off their houses. So you had people walking into the banks with wheelbarrows full of money, paying off their mortgages, and there was nothing banks could do about it.
Yep.
So, and then they relaunched their new currency and everything else, and all these people own their homes. And the banks were the ones that lost because they could do nothing for it, because a loaf of bread was costing as much as most people's debt.
Well, and that's what's happening in Venezuela now. People in Venezuela are jumping onto cryptocurrencies left, right, and centre because their inflation rate's just gone, a million percent, something ridiculous. In fact, there's an article I read of a lady who was using the Venezuelan bolivar, I think it is, using the bolivar notes to weave baskets and sell the baskets because it was worth more than actually using the currency.
It's crazy, isn't it? Right. Yeah. We've got to wrap this up for today, Mr. Bosel.
All right. I think I will kill that. I will kill that share then and put us back to just us. Look at that.
I better go back down here so I can actually bring up my little bit there. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us on this journey through the crazy crypto world. And as always, if you'd like to join us on a permanent basis, please log into Patreon and become a subscriber. The silver and gold subscribers will, as always, receive their very own silver or gold cryptocurrency token. I was about to say Bitcoin token, but no, one's a Litecoin, one's a Bitcoin.
One's a Litecoin, one's a Bitcoin.
Yeah. Let you guys figure out which one's silver and which one's gold. We hope you enjoy the show, and until tomorrow, goodbye, farewell, and amen. Have a great day.
Have a crazy old day and have fun. Yeah.
See you guys. Two crazy guys in one crazy crypto world saying see you tomorrow.
Bye.